Man, I love Rivalry Week. How can you not like the last weekend of the regular season? A weekend, guys, where we always say, records mean nothing. What you think you know means nothing. Because in Rivalry Week, all bets are off. And every single year, we see tons of big-time upsets. Upsets that shape the course of a conference, shape the course of the playoff race. And we had that this weekend. We had that in Week 13, the last weekend of the regular season in college football in 2022. We're here to break down every big-time moment from this Rivalry weekend. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, guys. We're so glad you could join us for our Week 13 Rivalry Week recap. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our expert picks over on the gridironexpert.com. The link for that down in the description below. Look at the expert picks, guys. Just look at how we're doing here. Another beautiful, beautiful winning record. We've gone through 13 weeks of the season. We've had one losing week this season. One losing week. We're 82-51 on the year with our expert picks at 61.7%. We win a perfect 5-0. 5-0 on Saturday against the spread. A perfect 5-0. So those of you that use our expert picks, if you bet on those games, you came out a winner. We didn't lose a single game on Friday. Or on Saturday, excuse me. This is the place to be if you want money right in your pocket. 82-51, nearly 62% of our bets. That's what we're hitting. If you want those type of numbers, guys, if you want that guaranteed winnings, if you want big-time winnings for conference championship weekend and bowl games, as we're giving you picks for every single bowl game, this is the place for you. Go sign up today for a full year-long subscription and come win with us right here, guys, over at the GE Nation. Come be a part of it. Start winning with us today. So let's dive into the numbers, guys. I mean, let's just dive into it. What a weekend it was. Let's start on Friday. Let's start on Friday real quick. We're number 19, Tulane. Snap number 24, Cincinnati's 32-game home winning streak. Tulane, the Green Wave, they're going to the American Championship. How about that? Tulane is going to be playing for an American Championship, and if they win that, they will go to a New Year's Six bowl game. Who would have predicted that back in the preseason? If you're telling yourself you did, you're lying, because no one saw Tulane doing this well. Unbelievable. The Green Wave won 27-24 at Nippert Stadium, a very difficult place to play. Again, Cincinnati's won 32 straight home games there. They lost the lead to the Bearcats with 6:27 left and then scored and retook the lead less than a minute and a half later. This Tulane team never wavered. They were never scared. They were never scared of Cincinnati. They lost the lead. Michael Pratt said, "Hold my beer. I'm going to go down there and take the lead." He did just that. And while Michael Pratt was phenomenal, it was the running back Tyjae Spears that was the best player on the day. 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Tulane defense held Cincinnati to 102 passing yards on the day. You just can't make this stuff up. Tulane's defense has been the strength of the team all year long. It's a reason they've won 10 games. It's a reason they're playing for a championship. And it's a reason why I think they very well could win the championship next weekend. Give a lot of credit to Tulane for a big-time victory and a mini upset on Friday afternoon. Moving on to Saturday, the biggest game of them all. The game between number 3 Michigan and number 2 Ohio State. And it was number 3 Michigan who took down the Buckeyes for their first back-to-back victory. Second straight victory over Ohio State. First time they've done that since 1999 and 2000. They have not beaten Ohio State in Columbus since 2000. But 22 years since they beat Ohio State at the Shoe. And Michigan did it in dominating fashion, 45-23. You can't even sit there and tell me this game was close. Because while it was close for a half, Michigan outscored Ohio State 28-3 in the second half. They had a 75-yard touchdown run from Donovan Edwards. They had an 85-yard touchdown run from Donovan Edwards. Edwards, who was filling in for Blake Corum, who only had 2 carries on the day, had 216 rushing yards. And Michigan stuck to their bread and butter, guys, balanced football. Against Ohio State, the mighty Buckeyes, Michigan put up 278 passing yards and 252 rushing yards. Talk about balance. Talk about balance. Talk about just going in there playing your style of football and wearing down this Ohio State defense. They forced 2 Ohio State turnovers, guys. Ohio State seemingly did not have an answer for the running game defensively, and Michigan's defense came out there and bottled up C.J. Stroud and that passing attack in that second half. It was looking like this game was going to come down to the wire, and then Michigan busted it wide open in the second half. And guys, Ohio State's playoff hopes are in jeopardy because losing by 22 points is something the committee is going to take into consideration. Now, yes, they're still in a good spot. LSU lost. Alabama has 2 losses. Clemson's out of the picture. So people did Ohio State a favor this last weekend to the point where if USC or TCU loses, we'll get to them in a second, Ohio State probably will get back into that playoff spot. But 22-point loss and not playing for a conference championship is going to hurt the Buckeyes. The way they lost is going to hurt the Buckeyes. Credit to Jim Harbaugh and the Wolverines guys for not just winning the game, but how they won the game. A lot of credit to Michigan, who will be playing Purdue in the Big Ten Championship here next week. How about Beamer Ball? How about some Beamer Ball? Let's go to South Carolina, where the Gamecocks took down number 8 Clemson and ended their 40-game home winning streak. 40 straight games Clemson had won in Death Valley, and South Carolina ended that streak and ended Clemson's playoff hopes. And Clemson was still in the running, guys, believe it or not. LSU was out of the equation now. Clemson needed, USC to lose in the Pac-12 championship, TCU to lose in the Big 12 championship, and the Tigers would have had a case to get in there, all gone. Because South Carolina, the team that ruined Tennessee's playoff hopes last week, ended Clemson's playoff hopes on Saturday, defeating the Tigers 31-30. And it looked like a game that was going to kind of get out of hand early, right? Clemson was up 14-0 at half. They were up 23-14, or 14-0 after one. They were up 23-14 at half. It didn't look like South Carolina was going to be able to come back and win this game. But second half adjustments were made for South Carolina. They were not made for Clemson. The Gamecocks outscored the Tigers 17-7 in the second half. They held the Tigers to 116 yards in the second half. That's it. Spencer Rattler played phenomenal football, just like he did against Tennessee. And Shane Beamer led the Gamecocks to back-to-back top 10 victories and an 8-4 season in Columbia. South Carolina fans, you have something to be excited about. You've got yourself one heck of a football coach. You've got yourself one heck of a football team. You snapped a 7-game losing streak to your in-state rival. You've got a lot to be happy about in Columbia. Unreal finish, guys, in Death Valley. An unreal result. I think a lot of people banked on Clemson winning this game, thinking South Carolina, should they beat Tennessee? They're not going to beat Clemson in Death Valley. They did just that. What a win for Shane Beamer and the Gamecocks. What a win for Oregon State and the Beavers over Oregon. Number 21, Oregon State, taking down a top 10 opponent, and the Ducks beating them 38-34 in stunning fashion, not just because they pulled off the upset over the Ducks. It's the fact that the Beavers were down 31-10 in the third quarter. They were down 34-17 in the fourth quarter. So they were down 17 points in the fourth quarter, and Oregon State found a way to come back and win this game. They found a way to do it. How'd they do it? They did it behind the strength of their defense. Down 34-17, they got a score, then they got a fumble, then they got another score, and then they had the turnover on downs. Oregon decided to go for it on their own 29, didn't get it. Oregon State capitalized, and then Oregon drove down the length of the field. Looked like they were going to retake the lead against the Beavers, and the Beavers defense held firm. They built themselves up a dam, and it didn't burst. The Ducks could not score from 5 yards out. The turnover on downs occurred at the Oregon State 3-yard line. They were able to run out the clock after that. The Oregon State defense forced 3 turnovers. They had 3 turnovers. They only had 60 passing yards, but they held Oregon to 0 for 5 on fourth downs. That'll do it. 0 for 5 on fourth downs. The Oregon State defense came through where they needed to. They were beating themselves. 3 turnovers, just 60 passing yards. Phenomenal running game, but 60 passing yards, 3 turnovers. Down 17 in the fourth. No way they're going to come back. Jonathan Smith's team kept fighting. They kept fighting. They found a way to win. Unbelievable performance. And Oregon State, guys, finishes the year at 9-3, a shot at a 10-win season if they can win their bowl game. And, of course, when that time comes, we will have an official prediction out for that right here at the Gridiron Expert. But what a game in Corvallis. What a win for Jonathan Smith and this program, who has completely revitalized and rebuilt this Oregon State program, of course, his alma mater. So what a year and what a game for them. It shows you guys, you got to play the full 60 minutes. Oregon simply beating themselves, but Oregon State's defense a major reason for that comeback. We talked about LSU. We said, hey, they're out of playoff contention. Someone goes, how? Because of Texas A&M. How would you love to say, yeah, our playoff hopes are done because of Texas A&M? A Texas A&M team who's done nothing all year. A&M team who has been maybe the most disappointing team in the country this year. An A&M team who has quickly become the laughingstock of college football. An A&M team who has had no offense whatsoever all year long, found a way to put up 429 yards of offense against the number 5 team in the country in LSU. 215 of those 429 came from running back Devin Achane, who had 215 rushing yards on 38 carries. 38 carries and 2 touchdowns for Devin Achane on senior night in College Station. A&M had nothing to play for. The win ends them at 5-7. LSU, had they won that game, would have gone to the SEC Championship. They're still going, but would have gone to the SEC Championship knowing if they beat Georgia, they're in the playoff. And now the SEC Championship means nothing. If Georgia wins, great. If they lose, Georgia's still going. If LSU wins, great, good for you. Georgia still goes to the playoff, you don't. So the SEC Championship really doesn't mean anything on Saturday unless it comes down to really seeding for Georgia. LSU blew their shot their wad, I guess you could say, as Lee Corso would say, against A&M in College Station. What a finish to the year for A&M. A very disappointing season, somewhat ends on a high note by pulling off the stunning upset over number 5 LSU, 38-23. And then finally, guys, the team that maybe benefited the most from that LSU loss, and he has a lot of thanks to give to Jimbo Fisher and the Aggies, is USC. USC, the number 6 team in the country, took down number 15 Notre Dame, 38-27. And kind of as expected, Notre Dame simply didn't have the offense and the consistent offense to hang with USC. It's kind of what we expected. We said the Fighting Irish might hang in this one, but they're not going to find a way to meet USC step for step offensively. And that's exactly what the case was. They trailed 17-7 at half. They trailed 24-7 early in the third. But I do want to give a lot of credit to Drew Pine, the Notre Dame quarterback, who played a nearly flawless game. 23 for 26, 3 incompletions. That's it. 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Basically put the Fighting Irish on his back, did everything he could to lead them to victory. Fell just short, 38-27. A lot of confidence. I think if I'm a Fighting Irish fan, I feel confident looking at Drew Pine saying, hey, he could be our quarterback going forward. That's a very good, promising thing, especially going into the postseason as Notre Dame finishes at 8-4. But ultimately, Caleb Williams, 232 yards, 1 touchdown. He struck the Heisman pose. Will he get it? We don't know. He looked pretty dang good. Austin Jones filling in for Travis Dye, of course, 154 yards on the ground. USC off to the Pac-12 championship next week. They win that. They go to the college football playoff. So a lot at stake. Notre Dame was looking to play spoiler. They were unable to do so. Could USC fall short in the Pac-12 championship? We'll have that prediction out for you next week right here on the Gridiron Expert. But guys, what a weekend. What a weekend. You can't top it. It's rivalry week. This is what we live for. We watch these games all year long. We live for the playoff scenarios. We live for teams fighting for conference championships. We live for them fighting for bowl berths. We live for them playing spoiler to their most hated and bitter rivals. This is what college football is all about. And 2022 rivalry week, yeah, it delivered. It delivered in a very big way. We really can't top it. So what a weekend of college football. Let's get ready for next week, guys. Look at our picks here. 23-11 on the money line this week. We finished the regular season right at 80%. A perfect, beautiful 80% on the dot. 408 and 102. Over 400 wins. Pretty dang good through 13 weeks. 408, 102, 80% on the money line. We're hitting nearly 62% on our expert picks. Go check it out over on the website, thegridironexpert.com. Sign up because, guys, we have our conference championship picks. We'll have picks out for every conference championship game on our website. We'll have predictions for every conference championship game right here on the channel. And then once we get into the postseason, we'll have predictions and videos for every single bowl game as well. And you'll get spread picks and exclusive betting picks for every single bowl game only on thegridironexpert.com through our expert picks. So make sure you go check those out down in the description below. And guys, once again, as always, thank you so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed Rivalry Week. We hope you enjoyed your extended holiday weekend. Let's get ready because while the regular season is over, college football is far from over. A lot of football left to be played, and we'll have it covered right here only at the Gridiron Expert.
Yeah.